let's not delete the default cube, because we're going to use it as our domain. Okay, this is going to be a fluid simulation with a mountain flow. So first thing is, let's go to physics tab, and I'm going to change this to a fluid domain. All right, let's increase the resolution to something like 128, and now I'm going to cheat a bit because I have to check out my notes. So the one thing is, what we definitely want to change is the time scale. Time scale will slow down the simulation, so it looks like as if in slow-mo. Okay, so let's change it to 0.5. Let's leave the other settings as they are. I change to adaptive domain, and these I use the 0.5 and 0.5, and vorticity 0.1. These are very sensitive values, so be careful when you adjust them. And this is very important now, the dissolve. Okay, the dissolve, we want to dissolve it pretty fast, or not fast, but because the sunburst doesn't go that far, because it happens on cosmic scale, so it stays relatively close to the surface of the sun. And in this case, let's try it with 25 and keep the slow setting here. And we don't use noise nor fire, but definitely let's set up the domain. I have a Blender cache folder on my drive, and I will make a Sunburst subfolder and accept twice, and I'm just going to set the simulation time to 100, and I'm going to save this file as Sunburst toot blend. Okay, sorry. Yeah, but this is just the domain now, and we definitely need an emitter. So we add a mesh cylinder, and we are going to watch it from this angle, and Control Alt 0 on the numeric tab will set your camera to this side view. Let's go to edit mode and rotate this cylinder on the y-axis by pressing Control. So it's 90 degree on the, okay, precisely. I'm going to delete these faces, and I go to wireframe mode, and let's remove these. Okay, because and let's scale it down on the X press X on the keyboard and scale it down. Okay, now we have, and yeah, let's scale it up. Yeah, here I made a slight mistake. Control B. Yeah, something like this. It's okay. And now we are going to add a particle emitter to this object in object mode. So hit plus here, and the number of particles what we have is something like 50,000. Let's start with 5,000 and 1 to 100, and lifetime is just 1. Okay, they born but they die instantly. Okay, and emit from faces jittered. Let's leave it as it is, but we want to give a normal speed, and I will use 10 meters per second. So and also I want to change the size. Okay, now hop over to the physics tab, and while the cylinder is selected, hit fluid and select flow. This is going to be a smoke inflow, and flow source is particle system. Set size is okay. Initial velocity, I use 0.5 here as well. So now let's change. No, maybe let's save this first, and and I'm going to what the hell, okay, so as you see, this is not very interesting, because we just have a foggy, and it's pretty lame, because we need to add empties too. We need a turbulence, we need a force field, so let's add an empty. I'm going to call this turb. Okay, and click force field, and this is going to be a turbulence. And let's change the domain resolution so the simulation is faster. Okay, now you see that it's turbulating. All right, let's see it with a finer setting. Maybe the velocity of the polygons, the particles, are a bit too high. So let's select the emitter cylinder and go to the particle settings. I'm going to set the normal speed down to 3. And let's see what what's happening. It's just a bit tiresome or to wait, but it's not that bad actually. With the final resolution we can produce pretty good effect. Let's wait for a few more frames. But basically this is the effect. The only thing I added was a wind. But basically you just can mask it out in post, this inner part of the smoke. So maybe this time I'm not going to fumble with that, because now I want to set up the shader. Let's stop the simulation and go to the render properties tab and check cycles, because we are going to use the cycles render engine. I'm really just use low samples here because of time issues. I don't want to, and I don't want to, this is just a demonstration. And let's make a shader editor window here. We don't need this, and let's select the domain, which is the cube, and go to the material tab. Let's rename this to wall mat, so we know what we are talking about. And I make this smaller and go to the camera. Let's go back with the camera on the x-axis like that. Okay. And also, while we are here, let's go to the Word Properties tab, and I just let's save this. I just want the black background. Okay, we don't see anything, we don't want to see the cylinder, right? But we don't see anything now, because there is no shader attached to this domain. So we need add a shader, a principled volume, plug it into the volume, and now you see the effect. And this is a really simple shader. We need a volume info from the input, volume here, down here, and we also need a converter color ramp and plug density into the factor. And basically we need just one more math node or two maybe, and let's set it to multiply, and I'm going to plug it into emission strengths. Alright, let's zero out density, and we need emission color. But now, okay, that's pretty okay. We want to control this. That's maybe not the thing we want. Let's zoom in. Yeah, no, of course. So this is basically the thing. Of course, if we could mask this out in a quick and dirty way. So let's go to edit mode, go to face mode and select all and shift D and P. So I separated the selection, and I'm going to, oh heck, what am I doing here? Maybe I should add another, no, this was not such a good idea. I add another cylinder, rotate it on the Y and scale it up. Let's make space here because I want to scale it like, yeah, it's a bit even further, something like this. No, let's just and this is going to be a, let's add a new material, black, and there's this a code out, right? I'm not sure if it's, but also this should be isn't very maybe not hold out by let's make it principled BSDF with black settings, okay? So now just mask it out. So basically that's it. That's the basic. You can of course fine tune with the wind, but the idea is this. So, and I rendered, okay, I pull over here the final render, so you see what I'm talking about here. Okay, and I want to show you the setup. If you want to copy this is my color ramp, and this is just like a bit above mid-gray, but you can fine tune with this if you change this, okay? And also I render this domain with a resolution of 380, but as you see the time scale is 0.5. I really just use the same settings, and dissolve is all the same, and but yeah, the empties, the force field, I use the turbulence here. Copy these values if you want, and the other is a wind value, and it's actually the location matters, and the render settings, you see it's not like 128, denoise, volume, step rate was relatively small, but doesn't really matter. So okay, I think this is what I can for the time being tell you about this setup. Thanks for watching, and okay, so yeah, I just couldn't resist the temptation, and I added another empty within the volume, and I changed it to a wind on the physics tab using a force field, and just I just really just slightly adjusted these settings, and but as a shape I use a cone, and I wonder, looky, so maybe we can it's as you see it blows away the smoke. What if we increase the strength somewhat so you would see the effect? So at this stage when you are playing with the wind and force field values, it's always better to use a low res, because with high res previews you will just never finish. It's some heck. I wonder if we, yeah, because I use a max distance, so let's increase this. I want to see. Aha, okay, now we have an angle here. Alright, so okay, that's weird, but it doesn't work, does it? Yeah, it's not really the thing I wanted. Woo. But it's interesting. Maybe I just don't want to use these. One can be lost easily with these settings. Let's just use like 3 and that's it. Or it's up to you. But as you see with basic settings, sometimes you can achieve better results, because when everything has been ticked and every little slider has been adjusted, you just really lose your ways, like, oh damn, where have I been? So look, this is pretty okay. This is pretty okay. This is a small sun, like a grapefruit. Now if we change the resolution and bake it using the type on the physics tab for the domain cube, the type should be all, and with this path set you can bake all, and I stop